Wellness Wednesday. I hope that you are showing up today in some way, shape, or form for yourself. And chances are, if you are watching me on the live or catching me on the replay, you are doing that. All right, for those of you who are new here to my Facebook group or to my YouTube channel, I want to say hello and welcome. My name is Aubrey Warwick. I am a transformation specialist. I've been doing these transformation type of things for the last 2 decades of my life. And I'm also a TV fitness expert on Channel 2. So if you're from the Pittsburgh area, tune in to my Fitness Fridays every now and then. Also, I own a pole dance studio. So I just was reminded of that because one of my amazing platinum members just jumped on. Gals, gang, what we are talking about today is a term that maybe you're familiar with. I don't know. It's called a reverse diet. So if the reverse diet term is new to you, I want you to drop a little star emoji in the comments. Now, a reverse diet is not just being tossed around in the bodybuilding or bikini building community. The reverse diet is really, really crucial when I am coaching people one-on-one in their transformations. So perhaps you, and I'm thinking of Renee specifically right now, perhaps you worked with me on one of my free challenges before called the Perfect 10. The Perfect 10 is a 10-day program that is free, and it shines the light on our blind spots. We get rid of kryptonite foods or troublemaker foods for 10 days to help give our liver a chance to just get the crap out and to rev our metabolism. All right, and it's also a mindset program as well. And it gives people a little taste of what my coaching's like in my background and what I've researched that has been really effective for women. All right, so the reverse diet. Now, I took some notes because, you know, guys, I love shooting from the hip, but I thought today I'm gonna take some notes to make sure I cover all these points because they're good points. Really, with a reverse diet, it is considered a gradual caloric increase, okay, for a period of time. Just like when you do I'm on a diet type of thing, it's a caloric reduction for a set period of time. And these two techniques are very helpful tools in order for us to get unsticky stuck from a body that we no longer desire. Let's say that. I don't want to, well, maybe that's a little harsh, right? Or let's say we know that we can do better. We want to feel better. We want to increase our energy, that sort of thing. So those are the two differences. Now, with the reverse diet, let's say I implement a reverse diet after I train for a bikini show. And what I start to do is that slow, gradual increase of some carbs and some fats, because typically those are the two macronutrients that I have been depleted in, or let's say reduced. I don't want to say deprived because believe me, I eat plenty of food when I'm training for a bikini show, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like it. All right, so bear with me here. So that's number one. You're gradually increasing your calories, and it's really in the tune of about 50 to 150 calories per week. Especially if you are new to reverse dieting, it is really helpful to work with someone who is a seasoned pro at this. All right, just saying. All right, now the next thing that you want to think about is regular monitoring while you are in a reverse diet. So what we have to do, we do have to track, all right, how you are starting to bump up your calories so that suddenly you don't rebound. And we've heard this before, and that is a term called yo-yo dieting, all right? And sometimes it can really lead to an unhealthy relationship with food, binging. And the reverse dieting can really allow you to not do that. So let's say you're working with a coach, all right? Maybe you're in my Envision program right now, and we are starting to look at specifically your macronutrients and your calories, and we see your body changing, right? We see like the scale is moving in the direction that we want based on your goals, and then boom, you hit a plateau. How many of you out there have ever hit a weight loss plateau, but you know you still have like 5 or 10 more pounds to lose before you reach your goal weight, right? Give me a little wavy hand if you know what I'm talking about. So typically what happens is, there comes a point where you just can't eat nothing forever, right? Let's say your calories get down to 1,200 calories. Typically, I don't like to go lower than that with people. And then we see like, oh man, we're stalling. So then that's where a reverse diet would come in handy, where we slowly start to bump those calories up, all right? Maybe for a week, and then we might bump them back down. What we are doing, we are retraining the body to literally transform, right? So to transform yourself from no longer the yo-yo dieter's mentality. It's you flipping the script in your mind to say, okay, now I got to a certain point. However, I'm going to have to take a break to give my metabolism a break and also a mental break, okay? And this helps us to prevent, being overly hungry or tired, or maybe our workouts just are kind of getting a little crappy because we're in that reduced calorie range. Now, what has been very popular right now, a couple weeks ago, I talked about semaglutide, specifically one that everybody's aware of, Ozempic. And oftentimes what we see with people is that they will lose weight. It's very effective to lose weight, and they're losing muscle mass. Now, guess what? A caloric reduced program, you do lose muscle mass if you are not strength training. So this, my friends, is where I am going to remind you of the importance of lifting weights. People who are in my Envision program currently, even if they have other goals, I have runners in my program, I have vegetarians in my Envision program, and this is all through my one-on-one coaching. Now, based on that individual, right, no matter what, let's say their goal is to run a marathon. Well, we have to really pay even more attention to the fuel that they're putting in their body, right? As well as the exercises that they're doing in the gym or at home that require them to lift weights. And I'm here to tell you a little sidebar. Sometimes you think that you're lifting heavy enough weights and you're not. No. And lifting heavy weights, really, it's not going to make you bulky. All right, and in case you were worried about that. Do people still worry about that? I don't know. So let me back up here. So through that regular monitoring, you're also improving your hunger hormones, your leptin and your ghrelin. And this is very common. This is why people, want to semaglutide, because their hormones are out of balance. All right, now I did a talk probably last week before about a company that I was recommending because I've been trying these new bioactive precision peptides from Make Wellness, all right? And that is something that some of you actually purchased recently, a product called Lean. And what this product does, it helps you regulate, guess what, your leptin and your ghrelin levels, all right? But it does it differently than a semaglutide. So I don't want to totally go off track here why I got on today about the reverse diet, but just so that you know how these things are working and how they can work for you based on what you're currently doing. Because, gang, again, I want to reinforce the message. Life is no fun if we always are like hangry, right? But you have to kind of get a little uncomfortable for a while, either way, in order to evoke a physical change. Our bodies are just amazing, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, next. Also, the reverse diet is not just helping with your satiety hormones and your hunger hormones, but it's also helping with your thyroid, perhaps your adrenal glands, your sleep, all of these things that do a body good, right? And it makes us feel like we are in a point of homeostasis on the inside, but we also are exuding joy in the journey and having happy progress along the way. So in summary, the benefits of a reverse diet, okay, you're going to get a metabolic boost. So let's say maybe for a while you've reduced your calories, they're down, no matter what means you're doing, and suddenly you hit that plateau and you're like, but I'm not there yet. What am I going to do? All right. Well, we slowly start to build those calories back up. Okay. And calories are just one unit of measurement. You might start to bring it back down again. Now, with more advanced techniques with my clients, And those who apply, or I should say with myself, I might do a couple of days that are very low carbohydrate days until I see that needle move again. And then I put the carbs back in, and then boom, my metabolism's like, party. Because I'm going to tell you something. Once you get to your goal weight, guess what? It's easier to maintain than always yo-yo dieting, right? If we rebound, if we are binging, or if we find like we're gaining a lot of weight very quickly after a caloric reduced program, then that's the yo-yo effect, and our body's like, what the heck are you doing? So all of the hormones are freaking messed up. Okay, next, the other benefits of reverse dieting, as I mentioned before, it's energy levels, right? So when I'm training, for example, for a bikini show, after this last show I did in September, the Yorton Championships, I did reach a point where I was like, okay, girlfriend's ready to be done, okay? And once I competed to the show, and I was so happy with that, and then that weekend I started, I had a festive eating occasion. When I got back home, I started to like bump my calories up a little bit. And then I was like, I'm going to do 2 more shows. So at that point, I was already maintaining, and I didn't have to do any other techniques in order to get to reduce my body fat or to get my weight lower. That was ideal for me to reach that goal. Let me know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Now, the mental relief. Let's say maybe you've been training with someone, or maybe as an athlete that you've been doing something for a long time, and you're like, I just need a break. I want to go out to eat, and I want to let go of any shame or guilt around that. And this is appropriate for this time of the year, right? So for this time of the year, you might be more in a maintenance phase with your goals. You can still make plenty of progress, and that's typically where we want to have the mental relief based around the holidays to say, you know what, I've been working really, really hard on my nutrition, on changing my body, on my behavior, and on my mental health, that I'm ready to test myself through the holidays. And I do that as well. And I think that is really important. Now, it's also then good timing afterwards to then try something like, maybe you want to try my Perfect 10. You haven't had a chance to do that. Again, it's not just about looking at this, ladies, through the lens of numbers. It's about looking at through the lens of how you can flip the script in your mind and say, oh, that's what's happening underneath the hood? Well, that makes sense. How can I be kinder to my body today through the behaviors that I'm choosing? And that is a very valuable question to ask yourself. So again, I hope that this was a helpful little chat on the words reverse diet, because I will tell you, when I first started to compete in the wonderful world of fitness and bodybuilding, I really hated all these terms. I don't know why I'm like that. These terms are a trigger for me. I don't know. And then I thought, okay, we need to frame this and to put it in a much more alluring, prettier light. And I definitely have myself. Now, since I have been doing this for a while, sometimes people ask me, well, how many calories are you eating? What are your macros? And I train for these shows with different techniques that I put myself through. And not everyone has to count their macros. Some people do better just with measuring their food out and having more of a meal plan. And that is me. So I work with people one-on-one. Some clients I have right now, they are not interested in counting their macros. And we can still move the needle by finding some hardcore staples in their diet and kind of them selecting like, okay, this is my meal plan for the day, and how does that look? And how does it make me feel? So gang, I'm going to stop now because I tend to ramble with these things. I want you guys to have the best day possible. And please drop in the comments what you want to talk about for next week. Otherwise, I'm going to think of something. All right, gang. Ciao for now.